Welcome everyone to Wakefield Bounce Back Week. This is the launch event, so I appreciate everyone who's coming on today just to find out a little bit more about what the week is about, what our agenda will be for the entire week, and to hear a little bit more from the speakers that we have on the launch event today. My name is Georgia Halston. I run Halston Marketing. We're a marketing agency in Leeds, and we were asked by the council to help them run this week, run all the events and all of the social media and everything around that. So we're really, really happy, really honoured and excited to be part of this week. As we all know, there's in every region across the entire country, there's been a huge economic shock linked to the COVID-19 pandemic. It continues to affect so many industries, so many firms across the country, and we're looking into how we can create some recovery specifically within the Wakefield district. We're looking to focus the whole district as a place to succeed, and the council have a series of goals and actions and ambitions to drive towards the recovery from the pandemic. Wakefield Business Week has historically been an annual event, and that's been delivered in partnership with stakeholders, the council, Chamber of Commerce, and also Wakefield First. We've decided this year to run Wakefield Bounce Back Week because we feel that we really need to celebrate the resilience within the area, within the industries that we have, and within the community in Wakefield, and really celebrate that resilience, that ingenuity, and that passion for business that we have in the area. So we have a week packed full of events that celebrate the thriving economy in the region. We're looking to engage, inspire, and support all Wakefield-based businesses as we spring back into action. So I'm just going to go through some of the events that we have coming up. This afternoon at 3 p.m, we have an Innovation and Diversification in Industry event. Tomorrow at 9:30, we have a Startup and Survival Resilience event. We then have one of our speakers today running her own event, the Tile Yard North, presenting building businesses through community. And we also have another event tomorrow that is a guest event from our partners at Adventure, and that's about starting strong. And we have another one tomorrow is the productivity and business growth. On Wednesday, we have access to finance. That one's a really, really actionable event where we have speakers who've given us practical advice from the likes of North Invest and Resolute Commercial Finance. We then have business and wellbeing also at 4 till 5 on Wednesday. We have inspirational growth stories on Thursday, which I'm super excited to go through with everyone about, just to give some inspiration and just, show people how some companies have already looked at quite a bounce back. We've got employability and upskilling and retraining, which is at 3 p.m. on Thursday. We then have equality and diversity in business, which is on Friday. We also have the Wakefield Bounce Back Week Awards, which are now happening later in July. They were going to be happening at the end of this week, but that was when we were planning and assuming that we were going to be allowed out and about and things were going to be a little bit more open. But we decided, because we want that to be a real life event, and we want as many people to really come together in the community, that would move that later on until July. So that also means that there's a lot of opportunity for people to be supporting and getting involved with the awards. We have 3 awards that you can sign up for, or you can you can ask for someone else to be put forward for the awards. So we've got the Community Spirit in Business Award, the Entrepreneurial Excellence Awards, and the Wakefield Pivot with Purpose Award. So if you know of any company, if it's your company or you know of any company that you think would be great, please go to our site, wakefieldbouncebackweek.co.uk, check out all of the awards, check out all of the events. So without further ado from my introduction now, I'm going to move into 3 super interesting panelists that we have on the day, today, and I'm really, really excited to go into what these guys have to say. We're going to start off with the Dean, Eunice from Penny Appeal. We're then going to move on to Lucy here, from Tile Yard, and then we're going to move on to Ali Gordon. What we're going to do is we'll have the speaker and then any questions we can field with them, and then on to the next speaker, because I know that Adim and Lucy have quite tight schedules today. So I'm going to move on straight on to you, Adim. Please give a little introduction to yourself, and thank you so much for coming on to the panel today.
No, you're absolutely welcome, Georgia. Thank you so much. It's an absolutely great initiative, I think, and kind of welcome it from the Wakefield Council and from the powers that be in terms of getting the community together and kind of gelling together as well. I've got an intro with Ali. Lucy is great. I've heard loads of brilliant things about Tile Yard, and it would be good to connect at some point. So I'll give a little bit of introduction. I don't think anybody else has joined us at the moment, so it's just the four of us, nice and cozy. Basically, we've been bouncing in Wakefield since 1999, and people ask me, like, Adim, what are you doing in Wakefield? Why Wakefield? So Wakefield's where I was born and bred. Wakefield's home, and kind of most importantly, Wakefield's where mum is. So I've been around the world. I've traveled, been everywhere. Been so blessed, kind of like been to more places than I've ever had a desire to. But I guess that's kind of business and enterprise. So what's interesting, I guess, about the work that I'm involved in is that 3 of the largest Muslim brands are actually based in Wakefield, and not a lot of people know that. And I'm fortunate enough to be involved in all 3. So the first is singlemuslim.com, and the second is the Penny Appeal, which I'll talk more about shortly. And the third is British Muslim TV, which is actually a broadcast TV station on Sky 752. And they're all kind of based from the Wood Street offices, or they were all incubated and born in the Wood Street offices. So my journey actually started as, I guess, when I was at college, and where I am situated right now is the Wakefield College Thorns campus in the middle of Thorns Park. And the park has now been bought by Penny Appeal, so it's actually kind of come full circle. So I was a student here at the park, and we liked it. I liked it so much that I bought it, and I thought this is where we're going to be. This is where home's going to be for the charity. And it was all really down to 2 great tutors that I had, Tony and Ron. And Tony and Ron really inspired me to do what I do now, basically, which is design, marketing, and kind of business, basically enterprise. They were 2 guys that come from a business background, from a design background, worked internationally, worked in New York, worked in kind of Paris, worked in Japan, worked in different exciting cities, and really I saw them and I saw what they could achieve, and I thought this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do, and it sounds really exciting to be able to see them, talk to them, and actually hear their stories made it real for me. And I thought, okay, this is where I want to. This is what I eventually want to be. And how I got there was just kind of luck and chance and all the rest of it. But in terms of the brand that I'd like to talk about today, which is the Penny Appeal. So Penny Appeal is an international relief and development charity. We work all over the world. Our teams are out there. So the Lebanon blast that happened a few months ago, our team was on the ground within 24 hours. We've got offices. In fact, we're the only one of the only few Muslim charities in the UK that actually have an Israeli registration. We're working in the Palestinian territories, and been working there over the last couple of months. You've talked about pivot. We pivot all the time, so we do our kind of long-term development programs. But then when an emergency kind of catastrophe happens, we kind of pivot to emergency needs in terms of what is requirements on the ground, like medical aid and food and water. But apart from food, water, medical aid, we do orphan sponsorship. We do everything from early life, mother and babies, to food, water, orphans, to education, and end of life as well. What we call a program called Adopt a Gran. So as you sponsor an orphan in the early days, you kind of adopt a gran in the kind of like last days of their lives, and really kind of help them make that as peaceful and as nice as possible. The charity's raised over £100 million so far. And I've got this book out, which we're celebrating this year. So it's the Penny Appeal Small Change, Big Difference story that was kind of published at the beginning of Ramadan, which was a month and a half ago now. And I guess that's us really. We're really, really excited to be bouncing in Wakefield for just over 2 decades. It's a great place. Got some really amazing people, and it would not be possible without the team that we've got. We've got a fantastic team, a very, very diverse team. I was just telling the ladies earlier on. The reason that I'm having to shoot off is because we've got Alex Leith, who's joining us, who's our first CEO, and he's actually the first non-Muslim CEO of a Muslim charity in the UK ever. So in terms of diversity, it's not just we talk about that we kind of have tokenism. Our board is very diverse. Our senior management team is very diverse. In fact, the whole of our team, in terms of the 160 people that we employ directly at Penny Peel, very, very diverse. And it's a pleasure to be part of the city, and it's been a pleasure to talk to you people. It'd be nice to have more of an introduction and really understand a bit further what everybody does, what the panelists do, and how we can work together with Penny Peel and the other brands with you guys.
That's such a great introduction. Thanks, Adim. And I think that as well, something that I didn't really particularly mention was about the great education in the region. With Wakefield College, obviously there's huge unis up here in Leeds, but I think that sometimes some of the unsung heroes are actually the educators, like that you mentioned, and the fact that you were born and bred in Wakefield. So I appreciate that you have obviously come back to where everything started and made sure that you brought your wealth of global knowledge into somewhere where people may not expect to see that type of resource. So I really appreciate that. If anyone wants to chat, any of the audience members, please put in the chat function or the Q&A function if you've got any questions. Does anyone have any questions at this point for Adim, or do the other panelists have anything to add to or ask about penny appeal or single Muslim at this point?
Nothing specifically from me, but it would be good to catch up with Adim at some point. It was really lovely to hear about your initiative and what you've been doing. So yeah, I look forward to maybe connecting with you so you can have a chat. If you're creative and you come on campus, you can record in a studio, you can go and get some legal advice, and you can do everything. You can get your PR campaign running, and it's just a thriving community of people that come together and have obviously, it's just built really organically over the last 10 years. And to top it all off, during lockdown, we decided to build an outdoor bar. So now that we can all meet and connect during what has been quite a questionable year and a half. And what's been fantastic is just seeing everybody sort of slowly coming back and sort of feeling that buzz around the campus again. So for the last, about 5 years ago, my co-founder, Paul Kemp, purchased the Rutland Mills site in Wakefield, which I'm sure everyone in the room is familiar with. Gorgeous 7 mills sitting just on the recorder opposite Hepworth, and decided that we were going to create a second tile yard. So that's going to be Tile Yard North. So it's been in development for 5 years. It took us, I think, 2 years to just clear the site. So now you'll notice as you're walking around that part of Wakefield that there's loads of building works going on, and we're getting loads of questions via email. So essentially it's going to be the largest creative hub outside of London. It's going to have on its phase 1 activation, which will be in January 2022, Tile Yard Education, which is going to be a university. They're going to be activating master's programs later in the year, so in September, but during the first phase of the year, they'll be pushing out songwriting camps for creatives, as well as other shorter courses and other engagement in the community and in the area. So that will be sort of Wakefield's first university. We're also going to have 30 professional recording studios. So we're going to have musicians coming in and obviously hiring out studios to make music again. We're going to have a large event space, which will be able to facilitate all kinds of events, as well as a outdoor area, which will be able to facilitate sort of outdoor events as well. And we'll also have creative office spaces as well. So they will host and facilitate some very exciting music companies. I cannot say who they are yet because we haven't done any of the sort of leases or the deals are not over the line, and we haven't done any official announcements. But if you follow us on at Tileyard North across all of our channels, you can keep up to date with all of our latest news, where we will be pushing it there first. So that's sort of in a nutshell who we are. And this drawing here, if you can still see my screen, is a bit of a drawing of how the site will look. We've been talking to loads of local Wakefield businesses, so we're also going to have a hotel and a food and beverage offering on site as well. So we've been talking to lots of local businesses who sort of work in these areas to sort of build up some lovely partnerships. So we're really excited to be able to have something like this in a space which apparently, if you think about it, it's quite an unusual place perhaps to create something like this, but actually it makes absolute sense. I think we've been connecting with so many creative businesses in the north. We're sort of working with Long Division this year, and everything that I can sort of gauge from everyone that I've spoken to is Wakefield has just been waiting for something like this that brings people together, great minds together, and hopefully puts Wakefield on the map as a real destination for musicians. And we're really excited at the prospect of connecting with all the creatives that exist in West Yorkshire and seeing what amazing stories we can tell here as well. So that's, I think, essentially sort of in a nutshell who we are. There's a lot more to it than that, but I hope that sort of gives you a bit of a roundup. Me and my co-founder Nick will be doing a talk tomorrow at 11, which will be going more into what the community means for us and how that has helped our businesses at London to thrive, and how we feel like we can provide the same service in the north as well. So for anyone that wants to know a bit more about the history of who we are, do feel free to pop along to that as well. So I'll stop my share now. Right, any questions?
That's amazing, super exciting. I love how much you've just absolutely jumped in with 2 feet there. There's no messing about, is there? We're going to do this huge thing, like, there's absolutely no pussyfooting about everything. We're just going to go straight out. And I love the whole it's like obviously a creative hub, but everything around music as well. I mean, in the north there's such a great heritage to local music, but I think in Wakefield, because you've already got Production Park there, and that's one of the places that's renowned for. They've got their own student offering there as well. But again, coming back to the whole educational side of it as well, the first uni in Wakefield, that's like such a massive thing just on its own, let alone all the amazing, and from that, the renders that you've got there, like there's loads of green spaces. It feels like it's just a place where, I would love to just come down and be like, I just want to come and have a meeting here, just because it looks like such an awesome place to come. And I think that, you just saying that you want to put Wakefield on the map is an absolute understatement. It looks absolutely amazing. Do any of the panelists have any questions or comments on it? Go for it, Jean.
Yeah, wow, that is so I live around the corner. I'm driving down all the time, and I think it's been about 5 years since we started hearing about somebody coming up from London. It's like, come on guys, hurry up. But by the looks of it, we need more Londoners in Wakefield, and it's so sad. It is so sad that it sometimes takes outside people to kind of realize the potential of Wakefield. But I kind of guarantee you one thing, that you will be a massive success. I guess it's a personal question from the charity, but do you have a charity partner? Maybe something that we can take offline.
That's a very good question. I do think it would be good to talk to you. A huge part, I mean, because at London we have a youth engagement section of what we do, which is called Tileyard Impact, where it's a CIC. So we work directly with young people in the area and sort of help to filter them into employment through sort of training on campus and work experience programs, which will probably be looking to do more of that stuff when our site's a little bit more active and we've got people in and on the campus. But I'd definitely love to talk to you, A, to learn more about what you're doing and to see how maybe we can sort of help to facilitate some of it and sort of be more in those conversations. But supporting the local area is a huge thing for us, which is why we're sort of working with Long Division, because from what I understand, it's been really hard for musicians and creatives in the last year and a half to even get practice space, to even sort of have somewhere where they can, smash a drum and sort of play with their guitar with their friends. So we're really excited to see how how we can help to promote creativity really in the local area. And yeah, our co-founder Paul, he's very bold as well, to say what you're saying. I think, you know, he saw how beautiful those buildings were. He loved the area.
Yeah.
He's a big Hepworth patron, and just sort of went, well, this is probably really wild, but I think I want to do this. So he's a real visionary. So I think we were all like, this is crazy, and then we're all like, cool, let's do this, and it's just been so much fun.
It will be amazing. It will be amazing.
It will be. Well, we're looking forward to welcoming everyone on site when we are able to do a real activation event, and sort of we had loads of visions and plans to be able to do small scale events this year, but obviously we've been launching some digital events to sort of get people talking, but we just can't wait to just welcome everyone onto the campus and have a bit of a get together and a party, and some live music, because that's what we do. So yeah, it's going to be very exciting to see some of the talent as well.
Good luck with all that.
Thank you.
Lucy, I have a question about the hospitality, obviously, on site. So you've got the vision for the events and the hospitality to be on site. So is that something that you provide, or are you looking for partners to come in and take those spaces, or how does that all work?
So Nick Keynes, who's very much, I guess, who I call our connector, who's the man on the ground, he's the one sort of talking to people about spaces and partnerships, and also bringing people in to sort of, I guess, become residents in spaces. So I know he's spoken to some of the local businesses about bringing people in for food and beverage, but I don't think anything specific has been solidified. So if you would like to have a chat, I think it's pretty flexible, to be honest. I think the initial vision was that we might sort of manage their F&B offering ourselves, and I think now we sort of would rather connect with local people 24 hours. I know there's talk of potential gin distillery as well, which I'm very excited about. So yeah, we should have a chat anyway. I'd love to connect you with Nick, and maybe you guys can have a conversation, because your app has come up more than once with us. I don't think any of our team have connected with you yet. So
yeah, Nick has actually. We're going to meet.
So. Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
He's up in Wakefield quite often, so that makes sense. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I know Dean's already got in there with the charity partner piece, but we also have Bridget on the call here. She says that she leads a charity in Wakefield and who work with young people through NCS and the Prince's Trust and many others. She has 3 Kickstart placements with her. She's based next to Telyard North, and she runs Cadets just opposite. She says it would be great to get in touch with you guys for a potential charity link as well. So what we'll do is, Lucy, if you do want to add your contact details to the chat, please feel free. I've already put a link into your event for tomorrow, so that people can sign up to that one and hear a little bit more about Telyard North in a little bit more detail with these guys tomorrow as part of their Bounce Back Week events. I wanted to know, Lucy, with everything that's happened during lockdown, can you give us a bit of insight as to, you know, what adversity you had to come up against in terms of clearing the site and, you know, stuff where people just weren't able to come and actually get some of the work done, or did everything just go ahead all the way throughout 2020?
It's a really good question. And for panelists and attendees who want to connect with me, I've just popped my email address there in the list for everyone to see. But in terms of the construction, I think obviously last year, that was sort of March 2020 was a huge transitional time for anyone. We were sort of finding our feet as everything sort of, as the world started to sort of look very different. But I've got to hand it to our contractors too. They have been absolute champions, and there haven't been many days that we've managed to miss keeping everything on track. So we're on track to where we thought we would be. There have been a few, there have obviously been, as with any construction site, a few hiccups here and there if there's been a case and we've had to close the site down, but it hasn't been something that we've had to worry about. I think it was just one situation where we did for a short while, but they have been absolute stars, and actually they've been doing some incredible stuff as well. They go beyond being contractors. They've recently brought in some young people from Wakefield College, and they're having them on site and showing them showing them the build, and they're sort of very much involved. We've also had a little competition where we've got some school drawings up on the hoarding around the campus. So they've been doing loads of stuff with the community that's been great. So they're very busy, they're very proactive. yeah, so we're super lucky to say that we haven't been affected too much on the build, and that we are still scheduled for phase 1 to be pretty much on bang on when we expected, give or take maybe a few weeks. But other than that, we've sort of been very lucky, so we're very grateful.
Wow. I mean, again, it's just testament to local resilience and community, and just sort of getting your hands dirty kind of mentality that we're really looking to showcase and celebrate. So that, I mean, that's amazing to hear anyway. Even if, you know, there wasn't a global pandemic, having something happen on time and give or take a few weeks is just a huge feat in itself. So
yeah,
I Wakefield based, the construction company. Do you want to give them a shout out?
Yeah, there's Sewell Construction. We sort of retweet all of their stuff. If you head over to our Twitter, you'll see plenty of their activities. But yeah, they've been fantastic. Them and our architects, Hawkins and Brown, they've been working really closely together. So those gorgeous CGI drawings that I showed you, that was the architectural vision for Hawkins and Brown, and they've been fantastic. Yeah, and sort of pulling the vision together, and they very much work. I think I don't know if anyone in the room is aware of a venue in London called the Printworks, which is kind of like an old newspaper factory, but they were the architects that worked on that to sort of pull the factory into a venue. So they are quite used to working with sort of heritage sites, but also modernizing them. So that's actually as well what has taken a little bit of time for us, is obviously all the buildings are grade 2 listed. I don't know if you know that, which is why the build's taken a bit longer than it ordinarily would have done, because we have a great relationship with the council. They have been fantastic, but we're obviously relaying back to them very, very often going, is it okay to do this? Obviously a lot of it has been the restoration of the buildings they've sort of been left to rot for quite a while. So seeing them in their true glory, each time I go, there's some new work, some new restoration work, and they just look absolutely beautiful. So yeah, you'll see we're part of the Wakefield Historical Society. We keep posting pictures, a 20,000 strong community, and every time I post a picture, they get really excited just seeing how they're coming along.
That's great to hear. You know, we've got such amazing architecture in the north, and it's just like links back to the heritage of the various different industries. And the celebration of, you know, the Industrial Revolution really did happen in the north. And now we're in Industry 4.0, and actually technology in the north is absolutely trailblazing in terms of the fourth industrial revolution. So seeing that all come together aesthetically, in architecture, and the clashing of two worlds, it's so cool to see. And it just seems like everyone that you've worked with has just been like, this is such an amazing project, we just want to see it work, and we want to see it work quickly, and we all just want to get together and put our stamp on it and our names because we're so proud of it. So yeah, super inspirational and really, really exciting. I hope that we all get an invite to the launch event in January, because absolutely cannot wait to see the difference. I think it'll be absolutely amazing. If anyone has any other questions for Lucy, as she said, she's put her email address in there. And as I said, I've also put the link to the event that she's running tomorrow, where you can see hopefully a little bit more of that restoration stuff, and in a little bit more detail about what the guys are doing at Tile Yard. So if not, we'll move on to Ali, who's going to talk about Eat Out Roundabout. And I'll pass over to you to give a bit of an introduction, Ali.
Right, I think we're there now. Is that sharing? Is my screen showing?
It is.
It's currently blank.
There we are.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So hi everybody, I'm Ali Gordon from Not Usual Limited, and I fall somewhere between Lucy and Adam here. I think I was born in Kent and brought up in Kent till I was 11, so I still have a southern twang. I moved up to Wakefield in 1986 in its heyday, when the ridings had just launched and everybody came in buses to Wakefield. And between going away to university, I've always ended up coming back and settling and living in Wakefield. And so I've had my businesses in Wakefield. When I had a young family, I decided to set up an online toy shop quite a few years ago now. That was around 2006. and which featured on GMTV, and it was starting to really grow and get really exciting, only to hit the recession in 2010, and everything crumbled, my whole world crumbled, and I needed to dust myself down and start again. So I knew I wanted to do it again, and I wanted to do something that was fun. And I found an idea in world travel, which I thought was really exciting. And I had the opportunity to build partnerships with restaurants, with a travel company. And I was bringing on board restaurants onto a dining app so that when you dined out, you could travel more. That was the whole concept. And I just loved the idea so much, was really successful at it. And I was finding wherever I travelled, I was filling up restaurants. The restaurants were loving it, and I was loving it, and I could see huge potential. My challenge was, being with the position that I was with a young family, was around travel and the money to do that and everything around it. So I got approached within that business with a guy, John Butler, that really saw the vision of what I wanted to create. And he had retired, and he said he wanted to put his retirement fund and help get the idea going in the UK. So he supported me. So I was all over the place in Manchester and London and Brighton and Edinburgh, trying to get this idea off the ground that you could enjoy more leisure and dining and help local economies. And what I found was I was diluting myself still too much with a family and running around these different places. And there was always this sort of pressure that all these great cities with so much buzz going on, what's going on in Wakefield? And then I just started to think, well, that's the very reason that we need to focus on Wakefield. You know, there's a lot of opportunities closer to home. So back in 2018, I decided, this is it. We're going to focus on Wakefield. It might not have the huge diversity of restaurants and bustle that its neighbouring city of Leeds has got, but we can make something happen here. And I started to get really excited about the vision of where Wakefield was going. And so we started with this idea that you could eat out and help the local economy. And the business at that point was Be Leisure Rewards. It took a long time to get it established, but by January 2020, we built partnerships with the Theatre Royal. We were running events and filling the room. With Production Park in February, and then by March at the Queen's Mill in Castleford, we had a room full of businesses that were really excited about this idea that they could buy digital vouchers for staff, where they could go and eat out in the local area and help stimulate the local economy. So then by the 23rd of March, you can appreciate that was a difficult time for everybody, but for us, everything had to stop because there was no restaurants and there were no businesses that could send employees out to restaurants. So that naturally led to what do I do next? And when I look back at what I did, I decided I'd go back to my digital days. I spent 65 hours a week in the first lockdown, relearning my programming skills back from 2001, and I learned Flutter and Dart, and I decided that the platform what I would build the other side of this to help the economy. And then I submitted bids to Innovate UK because I saw that the government were looking for ideas to bounce back and help the economy bounce back. And I thought, well, if we could just apply what we did before, then we could stimulate and get the economy moving. But my first 3 bids were unsuccessful. And then Vishy came along with a tremendous idea to eat out to help out. In August, 51 million people ate out. It generated over 260 million pounds into the hospitality economy. The problem was it cost over 400 million to run the scheme at that point. It's since gone over 800 million with all the claims and the fraud and everything that went with it. So it was a great way to stimulate the economy, but it wasn't sustainable for the government. And then I realised, well, if we work with the private sector, then we can make it sustainable. So I thought we could bring together everything that we've learned. So I submitted 5 bids in total. The 4th one won, and we secured the first and only Innovate UK grant to be awarded to a Wakefield business for £100,000. which meant we could build a small team and we could build the app and we could trial it in Wakefield. So within that £100,000, we ring-fenced £10,000 of that to go into the Wakefield hospitality venue. So we could literally put vouchers into the hands of local people and start eating out. So far today, we've achieved over £12,000 of spend into Wakefield hospitality. We've got over 800 app users on the app. We've got 25 companies around Wakefield, including Haribo, Chadwick Lawrence, the Harris Partnership, some great companies that have hopped on board in order to give vouchers out to staff. We've had restaurants giving out vouchers, and now we're teaming up with other organisations such as The Hoot, which is a lifestyle social networking platform across West Yorkshire, which is giving out vouchers to attract people into Wakefield. We've got 14 restaurants on the platform, restaurants and cafes. So our most recent addition, which we're very delighted about, is Rassam's, the ice cream creamery, which is amazing. And we've since the trials now, we've further secured a further grant for a spin-off app to support the business community to connect through Wakefield hospitality. So I think it's fair to say I think we've achieved a lot in a 6-month period, and you know these graphics show a little bit of the insight into what we've done, which the nuts and bolts behind it all of what we've done, and that in terms of the innovation that we've used and how we've diversified. We've got the event this afternoon at 3 o'clock, so we're going into the depth of this a little bit more at that event. But you'll see we've got a range of local restaurants. So you would open the app and you would see, here's where to eat out. Then you find your voucher. So this is the Haribo voucher, but they can brand up the vouchers. And then you just walk in, scan your voucher, and you get 50% off your meal up to £10 Monday to Wednesday. But the bit that we've added with the lockdown in January, when we were ready to start the trials and everything locked down, we did further work with Wakefield Council and CLES, which is the National Organisation for Economic Regeneration. And they taught us about the local multiplier of 3, and that's how money circulates and grows in local economies. So what we've done is made that digital. So not only are you eating out and impacting the economy, you see when you do how that circulated and grew, and over the year how much impact you've made in the Wakefield hospitality economy. So I think it's been interesting as well in terms of the other businesses that have digital ideas or on that digital journey. I met a lady that had a business. She'd been developing this same sort of, not the same platform, but been through the journey of developing an app over 4 years. And I realised it was a step by step, we'd followed the same thing and hit the same hurdles at similar points. It's just been incredibly condensed on this journey. But I think one thing that this is an app, this is a platform, and it achieves nothing without the collaboration of the businesses that are involved in it. So what we see is we've got a collaborative tool here for the businesses to connect with hospitality and the hospitality businesses to be visible, and a way to really connect, but also to create a benefit when you do that. You get to eat out and eat out at quieter times, help the economy and save money. So on Wednesday, the 23rd of June, we've got what we've created as part of the funding was to disseminate what we found. So we've got much more in-depth event on Wednesday evening, which has coincided with the Bounce Back Week. We've got 40 businesses across the Wakefield district in attendance. The reason that we're doing it with Theatre Royal Wakefield is because when the theatre opens again, we're offering pre-theatre dining. So we've got a great partnership there as well. And then after that event, then we're eating out with 50% off our food. So there's lots going on. So this was just to provide a bit of a taster, I think, and then provide a bit more insight this afternoon, and then a much more in depth on Wednesday. So and the app is available on the stores, on the App Store and Play Store. So you can download the app and you may win a voucher. So.
Thanks, Ali. I appreciated your eat out pun when you said it was a taster.
Of course.
I've been downloading the app since you've been speaking, actually. So I put in all of my information then, but then you need a promo code to actually sign up. Is that something that you send out, or is that something?
Did it not let you do it without the promo code?
Oh, I mean, I just assumed that I needed one. So let me.
No, you should be able to do it without one. It's just if you've got a promo code, you can definitely. That's just a way. If you've been purchased a voucher, you can just access it.
Okay, it's verifying I'm not a robot. We've got some clients down in Wakefield, and we always try and find some local place to eat if we go there sort of before lunch, so that the team can, you know, have like a decondensing of what's happened. So we'll definitely be using this going forward now. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be really, really helpful. And because we're not necessarily from the local area, it will allow us to understand where there are some really cool indie places, because I don't want to just be going to your Starbucks and that kind of thing. If I'm going to Wakefield, I want to experience some real local fare. So
that was part of it, that it's, you know, we're focusing on independent restaurants, and eventually we see that, you know, larger chains might want to come onto the app, and we wouldn't want them to go somewhere else. But the point is that the venues are ranked by how much they impact the local economy. So the bigger impact they make, the higher up the listing. So we aim to encourage those bigger guys to support local businesses as well, to be part of it.
Well, there's some really, really great restaurants. I'm just going through the app now, so I think that my team are going to be very excited about tapas, pizza, Perry. I need to just go off that now. I told you it was going to make people hungry just before lunch talking about this. Thanks very much for that, Ali. Do you want to stop sharing your screen? So, does anyone have any questions for Ali or Eat Out Roundabout? Yeah, do you go for it?
Yeah, so once again, this
Oh no.
allowed me to get a great job. 800 users, 25 companies that you've onboarded is it's quite a big thing. You know, it's not a small feat, and you know, having to do that and speak to those individuals at the time. And I think, you know, you've got the momentum now. Clearly, you've got a passion. So thank you very much for what you're doing, and well done for bringing kind of more activity into Wakefield. And always getting a cheap night out is great.
I echo that, actually. I think it's really exciting for independent businesses and local businesses, and it's getting me very excited for going out for little lunches around Wakefield. I have to do my little round of all the different restaurants on there.
And it's not easy writing bids, is it? And given the fact that you've written 3 already and you've pulled yourself back up and were like,
just keep going. No, I've become an expert bid writer now. I most recent bid, I got the first assessor was 100%. It was the best bid he'd ever written, but the second one didn't like it, so it didn't win. So you just got to keep going.
No, you did, and you got the funding on the 4th, so it just shows what persistence gets you, doesn't it?
Either that or they want to get rid of you to keep rid of your bids.
She's just going to keep sending us bids until she can give her the funding now. Yeah, maybe. So that's a really great origin story for Eat Out Roundabout. Ali's going to be back with us this afternoon from 3, where she's going to go into a little bit more about the innovation and diversification session that we have this afternoon. And as she mentioned as well, obviously we also have, she also has that event that she's running on, I don't have a link for that one, Ali. I don't know if there is one for people to sign up.
It should be on the list. Yeah, send it over. Shall I add it to the chat?
Yeah, you can do. I'm going to add this one now for our event that we're running this afternoon. So anyone who's not signed up to that one wants to hear a little bit more about Ali's story, and I think that a little bit more about actually building the app, and potentially she can give us all some tips on some bid writing in that session this afternoon. If anyone else has any other I think that you just sent that in a direct message to me, Ali, so I'm just going to reshare that to everyone.
I'm really sorry, Georgia. I'm going to have to jump out.
That's fine, Lucy. I think that we're going to might be oh, I've just sent it back to you.
Send it back.
Yeah, you want to share that to everyone. Thanks so much, Lucy. Really appreciate everything. I think everyone's super excited about what's going to be happening with Tallyard North, and like I said, I've sent the link there to your own event that you're going to be running tomorrow. Everyone, please sign up to that one and find out more about what Lucy is doing, and we're all looking forward to the actual launch in January. It sounds like it's going to be absolutely huge and it's massive change for the city. So thanks for your time today, Lucy.
You're very welcome. It's lovely to meet everyone, and I look forward to connecting with you all very soon. Take care. Bye.
So I think in general, if anyone has any other questions for Ali, please add them right now. Otherwise, we're going to have a little bit more time with you this afternoon anyway. So if anyone, if you're thinking about where to go for lunch, if you're in Wakefield, make sure that you download the ESOUT Roundabout app. And yeah, you've got that link there to your event that you're running. Other events that we have coming up tomorrow will be the Startup Survival Resilience event, which is going to have Danielle Moore from Adventure. We're going to have Mo Isap from In 4.0 Group. We're going to have Danielle Hewitt from DH Professional Solutions, Fiona Ibiston from Get Ahead, and Vic Edwards from VLAN Limited. So that event is at 9:30 tomorrow until 11 a.m. and I'm going to post the link to that one as well, so everyone can sign up to that one. And just make sure that I send it to everyone, not just to Ali. There we go. So please sign up to that one. That's going to be a huge event. It's all about all of the resilience. It's all about people getting into thrive mode, thrive to survive mode. And I think that's and then we also have the productivity and business growth. There's so many events. What I'm going to do actually is just send the link to the events so everyone can just have a look at everything that we have coming up. And please send this to any businesses that you know in the Wakefield area, or anyone who you think that would be inspired or would have anything to add to any of our conversations that we're having throughout the week. But I think that we'll stop it there for this session. It's been an amazing launch event. I think that it's really been a standpoint for what the rest of the week is going to be like in terms of quality, in terms of inspiration, and in terms of just great speakers and interesting things that are happening in the region. If anyone does have any questions, please come to wakefieldbouncebackweek.co.uk. Contact us through the contact form there. Please make sure everyone's sharing all the awards. We want to see as many award entries as possible because we really want to showcase that brilliance in the area. And thank you so much to Lucy, who's already left, Ali, who we're going to speak to again this afternoon, and Adeem for your support and your time today as well. I really appreciate it. I know how busy both of you are and all the amazing things that you're doing. So can only say thank you so much to you guys for coming on, and to all of our attendees as well who've come today. You can see this, watch this video back on our website over the next week or so. So thanks again so much to you guys for coming today.
Thank you, Georgia. Thanks for having this event, and I'm sure it has already helped me connect with two amazing people in Wakefield, and I'm hoping that the event will help others connect and continue to connect and to help the business economy in Wakefield, which I have no doubt will. So amazing work. Keep it up.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's been fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks very much, everyone. Enjoy a delicious Wakefield lunch, and we'll see you again this afternoon.